Good morning, friends. Thank you for taking out time and joining this session on tuning into body intelligence via body scan meditation. I got interested in this topic during the years when I was working in the healthcare sector, and I started studying human anatomy and physiology. And I realized that we are all formed from a zygote, which is a single cell. And that single cell then multiplies into trillions of cells and forms our body. All our organs, heart, kidney, liver are formed from that single cell. So by a process of, I think, what they call mitosis, it divides and multiplies into from one cell to two cells to four cells to 8, 16, 32, and so on and so forth till we get this body. And I used to wonder, if there is so much of intelligence in a single cell, how do we tap into that intelligence and benefit from it? So that's how I got curious into this field of tapping into the body intelligence about 10 years ago. And I've been studying and practicing it, over the last couple of years. And I'm also curious to know what is it that got you into the session today? What is it that you would like to know? How come you got drawn to body intelligence or body scan meditation? If you can unmute yourself and speak or type in the chat, I would just like to hear your thoughts before we progress further. And I will also request you to keep your cameras on, and that way the interaction is better. And we are a small group, so we can have good interaction today. Anybody would like to share what got you interested in tuning into body intelligence? What is it that you are seeking? What is it that you are curious about?
Yeah, hello. Hi, good morning, sir. Good morning,
Hi,
everyone.
good morning, Jagdeep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, actually, I was just browsing through my phone the first thing in the morning. Since I got up, so I saw your message and
Okay.
immediately saw that, okay, it's time 11 o'clock, so let me join first.
All right.
Yeah, so first, my motivation is that, yeah, so your sessions are always so very insightful that, they're so useful. So, that was my first reaction to joining this. And
Thank
then when
you.
I saw the topic, tuning into the body intelligence. So we all know, body is something where is a kind of device, is a kind of media where we can get everything, right? So even when we get into the spiritual things, we know that all the devatas, they also need a body to get salvation, get into meditation and get into all that path. And everybody needs a body, so, and body is very intelligent,
Yeah,
which we
yeah,
don't understand its
correct.
intelligence very well. So that's what got me into this session. That let me also, take a step further and understand how our body behaves and how we should listen to it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Jagdeep. That's very interesting. And Himlata says that she knows this because she practiced Reiki and plant-based healing. So thank you for sharing that, Himlata. And if there are others who would like to share, we'll be happy to hear from them. There are few who realize that there is tremendous amount of intelligence in body, but most of the people today they struggle with living in their mind. And there are many people who come to me and they talk to me that I'm very stressed, highly stressed, I'm always anxious. There are racing thoughts, overthinking, all the time there is something going on in the mind and there is no peace of mind. Do you know somebody who's like that, who's always stressed? And then show me a thumbs up or say yes, why, in the chat box. If you know someone who's always thinking, over racing, stressed, and most of the times most of the people are either living in the past, worried about, or regretting what happened in the past, or someone said something, or what may happen in the future. This may happen, this may go wrong, that may go wrong. And so our mind is always going either in the past or in the future, but it is rarely in the present. And then people come and ask me, how do we get out of this? How do we deal with this anxiety and this stress, this overthinking that it is causing us? And the answer to that is this simple technique that we're going to talk about. It's simple but very powerful, and that is tuning into your body. And initially, I got, I very distinctly remember one of my bosses was visiting me when I was heading the Pune branch in Tata AIG in 2002. And he asked me, Ashish, what do you feel? And I blurted out, I think. And he paused me and asked me again, Ashish, my question was, did you hear my question? And I said, oh, what do you feel? And then I kind of stumbled upon an answer, and then I gave him an answer. But the point is, about 20, 25 years back, I had no clue about feeling. I was a thinking guy. And that is how most people in the corporates are, or even the education system today. It's all about analytics and numbers and thinking and rational analysis, and we are not really encouraged to tune into our body feelings, because anybody who is in touch with the body feeling, people say, don't be emotional, don't be an emotional fool, don't feel, just get it done, don't think so much, so things like that is what we hear normally. And that is how I was. And till as recently as 2020, when I signed up for a coaching program, as a part of that coaching program, my coach asked me, Ashish, what are your goals? And I said, these are my goals for 2021. This was December of 2020. And he said, how does this make you feel? And I said, I don't feel anything. And he said, why do you think that is so? And then he gave me a couple of questions, to reflection questions, to ask myself every day. And then he insisted on me journaling the answers to those questions, and I started doing that. And that opened up a completely new vista for me. And that's how I started tuning into my body. That journey had started kind of earlier, but this was the trigger that accelerated that journey. And I started trusting myself more, my feelings more. And that is a beautiful part, when we tune into our body, the confidence goes up. So my self confidence went up. My ability to take decisions was better. And I'll talk more about the science behind this. I've also shared the document in the groups, so you can refer to it either now or later, on what's the science behind this. So tuning into the body helps in many ways. And one of the things is emotional regulation. uh, when we tune into the body, we are quick to realize what's happening, and that is one of the things that helped me kick off my smoking habit. I used to be a fairly heavy smoker, smoking about 10 cigarettes a day. And I realized that the sensations, there are sensations in the body. The urge to smoking comes, and then it passes off. So this mindfulness practice and this ability to tune into the body helped me just observe the wave of the urge which would come and pass, and I could deal with my smoking habit. And I successfully kicked off the habit in 1st of January 2010. So I have been free from smoking addiction for over 14 years. And anybody who's a smoker knows that it's a very difficult addiction to give up, because you do it so many times, so like 10 times a day over years. There are so many times this pattern has got ingrained in your mind. But using this emotional awareness, I was able to kick off the habit. Another way, tuning into the body, and we will practice this by, so it's not just hearing about it, but also when we practice it. And we are shortly going to get into that mindfulness practice on body scan meditation, and you will realize how our sensations rise and fall, and you will be able to tune in. The second very powerful application of tuning into body intelligence is emotional regulation, our ability to regulate our emotions. And what happens is typically when we got so a lot of people come to me that I have these anger management issues. I am not able to control my temper, and it is very difficult to control your temper just by wanting to control it from your mind. It is tuning into your body, because when we start getting angry, there are signals which are there in our body. Maybe our forehead tightens, or our chest tightens, our fist clench, there are, the ears turn red, breathing becomes shallow, heart starts pounding. So if we are tuned into our body, that signal comes in much earlier, and then we have an ability to regulate ourselves and control what we are communicating with the other person, rather than just blurt out in a fit of anger. uh, I have had bosses, and I'm sure you would have had bosses or family members who get under your skin and really, uh, you know, um, they're very good triggers for us to lose our temper. But using this technique, I would largely be able to, I would say 90, 95, 99% avoid confrontations and, showdowns with people, even when the things were not going right for me. So I'll just pause here to see if how is this landing with you. If you have any quick questions or comments, thoughts, or anything to share before I share further about the science of emotional regulation and tuning into body intelligence.
Mhm.
Yeah, hi Shruti.
Hi.
Hi.
So I just wanted to share that I'm a mind management consultant. So I've been in this line for the last 16, 17 years now. So what you are saying, is absolutely bang on with because it happens at the mind level. So it's
Yeah,
there outside you. It's not. So it's a virtual space, to be
yeah,
very honest. Yeah, it happens because you can't put a finger saying that this is mind. People do say, "Huh, this is mind,"
correct, correct,
but
correct.
that is actually the brain, which is
Yeah,
ruled by the mind, and mind is just there around you everywhere. Yeah. So that is the connection. That is where I operate from. But I realized in so many years that I'm a hypnotherapist and past life. So I work on that. I work with my clients. So been in that for almost 17 plus years now. It happens that everything becomes about the mind, right? So when I am doing my self work also, it becomes at the mind level. I am able to barricade and put the speed breakers to it at some point in time. I was able to. I will put it in the past. I was able to. Today, with the age and with all the load of kind of sedentary lifestyle, like sitting and counseling and therapy work, and otherwise training and rushing around everywhere, my anxiety levels have gone up. Yeah, which I had never experienced. Today, I mean, to do something, it is like, oh my god, oh my god. There is that first thing is the panic which comes inside, and
yeah,
then I started feeling that, oh, okay, first indications of age going up or mental health going down. You know, the two indicators, the red flags. And when I came into that, I was feeling that everything is in the body. So what I have done is I have stored everything in my body now, and body se nikal nahi raha hai. Body se nikal nahi raha hai. It is giving me the sedentary feeling. It is giving me lethargy to an extent that I used to go gymming. I used to go for a walk for an hour or so. I used to be, fit. I mean, not like fit like dumb weightlifting and all that, but I used to do that 3 years ago. But now I find in the last 1 year or so, 1 year and a half, that I don't feel like doing it. My body just says no. And then when my body says no, my mind, kind of says, okay, nahi karna hai na, mat karo fir. So that typical procrastination, lethargy, to an extent, a depressive feeling also sometimes, all of it seeps in. And this was very alarming for me because I love my work. I want to be fit and fine for my work and for future years to come. Uh, so when I read your, because I keep going through, I don't attend many, I know, but I'm aware that you're doing something very different and alag se. And when I say, kind of body intelligence, and I said, shit, this is what I need to definitely need to understand, because emotional intelligence जान लिया, सब जान लिया, खुद का intelligence भी जान लिया, लेकिन somewhere, you just do, and sometimes it happens that I think too much, and something like I don't need to think, let somebody think for me, and I'll just follow. That's the message which came in, and I just registered like 2 minutes before 11, and I said I think I need this.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Shruti, for sharing this. It takes a lot
Yeah,
of courage to share. And I sincerely hope that you get what you're looking for in the session today.
absolutely. Or otherwise, I will contact you also.
Definitely, Shruti. Please feel free to
Yeah.
reach out.
Thank you, Ashish. Yeah.
So now I'll talk a little bit about the science behind it, so that we understand that this is not just woolly fluffy stuff. There is a lot of science behind it. So this study done by University of Iowa, in which what they did was they gave the deck of cards to players to play, and this was done with money. So the idea was, you pick cards, and every card you pick, you either win or lose. And the idea is you increase the amount of quantum of money that has been given to you. So if suppose there you've been given $2,000, the more you accumulate, the that's the person who wins the highest is the winner. That's the idea. You maximize your earnings. And there were four decks of card, and people would just go and pick. And there were two sets of that were in favor of the player, and two that were against the player. So let's call them the red and blue cards. And everybody who was playing with I don't remember, sir, one of them was loaded against the player. So you go and pick, and every player had limited chances, which is about 100 chance. So by the time they reached the 180th chance, of picking cards, so every time they pick, they will get dollars, or they will lose dollars. So by the 80th time, they started realizing there is something wrong with a particular, let's say for the sake of, red deck of cards, something is wrong. But what was interesting was, and these guys had FMRI, their brains were getting scanned. Uh, by the 40th or 50th round, they started getting a hunch that there is something wrong. So if I pick red, I go wrong. Uh, you know, uh, but what is most so the hunch, the intuition started happening around 40th. The cognitive recognition happened around 80th round, but the hunch started happening, or the intuition started happening around 40th and 50th round. But what is most interesting is around the 10th round, the body started giving them signals where their sweat glands got activated. So the point is that when you are tuned into the body, our body instinctively knows what is right or wrong. And when we can tune into the body, it gives very, very good signals. So that is what really got interested. And it is because we have something called basal ganglia in our body, and that is connected to our gut. So what we call gut feeling is actually, there is a science behind it. And basal ganglia is because it's a primitive organ, it can't communicate to our brain. It communicates with our gut area. That's why it is also called the gut feeling. So that was the study, and that is what I have shared with you in the Google handout. So this is from a book called Search Inside Yourself, which is based on the mindfulness program which was run in Google. So that is about the science of tuning in to. And since the time I have started tuning in, I feel so much more at peace, because I know my body has the intelligence and I can completely rely on it. Only challenge is it takes time to get used to it. Sometimes the signals may be confusing, because say racing heart, maybe because of excitement or maybe because of nervousness. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to it. But as you start tuning in to your feelings and taking action basis those feelings, you will know that, okay, this happened, like this twitch happened, and I did this, and this was right or wrong. So over a period of time, as you keep practicing, like with most mindfulness practice, you get better as you practice with it. Some people tell me that, Ashish, I am not really good at tuning into my body or paying attention to the body signals. And I share with them that this is a limiting belief. We all are tuned into our body because we do feel hungry, right? How do we eat? Or we do feel thirsty. And there are many other signals, like we feel hot or cold. So we are tuned into our body. It's just that we don't realize it. It's maybe for some basic things, but as we practice more and more living into our body, we get tuned in with it, and then we can use it for making decisions. And the mindfulness practice, a variation of which is body scan, which is what we are going to do, is something which is practiced by many senior corporate professionals also. So if you know Ray Dalio, if you've heard of him, he's considered to be one of the top 100 thinkers by Time magazine, and he's a regular mindfulness practitioner. He's a self-made billionaire. He started about 50 years ago and today runs a hedge fund, which is one of the top five, which is considered one of the top five most important institutions in America. So he practices mindfulness. One of the chief investment officers I personally know is a regular meditator. So, when you practice mindfulness and, awareness, your ability to take decisions becomes better. But there is one gentleman, Mr. Krishna Kumar, who was on the board of Tata Sons, and he used to practice mindfulness for over 2 hours every day. So, it's something which is many people, many successful people who are in business, stock markets, running large corporations, practice mindfulness, and then that improves their awareness and ability to take decisions. So I'll pause here if you have any quick questions or comments, and then we will dive into the body scan mindfulness practice. So we will, if no questions are now, then maybe we can take them. Dr. Nilofer, yes.
I put in the chat my question.
Yes, is this the same as Vipassana? Yes, similar in a way. Yes, in a way. Yes. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? Else we will dive into the body scan meditation. And this you can do sitting or lying down. But I will urge you to keep your cameras on because I would like to see if you're comfortable and how it is landing on you. So if you can keep your cameras on, that is fine. Let me also just stop recording here and then I'll start recording again.